Welcome into another edition of the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. I'm Tim McMaster, and stepping into the cage this afternoon, we have Ian Kennedy, who has joined the champs this season. He's off to a great start with the Kansas City Royals. Ian, thanks so much for stepping into the cage.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Fans, you know how it works. You press that Get in Line button on your screen, and you can actually get some FaceTime, ask your own question of Ian Kennedy, or use the hashtag Chatting Cage, or you can even use the MLB Fans app to get your question in. And we're going to start on Twitter, Ian, and the Checkered Plan wants to know, who's the best hitter you've ever faced?
The best hitter I've ever faced. Faced a lot of really good ones. Just recently, the only thing I think of right now is Trout. He's got to be the toughest, or Miguel Cabrera. I mean, there's Cabrera. He's one of the best. Miggy's is a great at bats put together. You can't stay in one spot. It's just both of those guys in general. I mean, there's so many things you got to stay away from the middle of the plate. You guys got to that guy's one of the best. That's the best thing I could describe. And you guys see it day in, day out, but when you're facing them on the mound, you got to be on your game every single pitch.
And now you find yourself in the same division with Miggy, so I'm sure you'll get that challenge quite a bit this season for sure. And Justin Zine wants to know, what was your welcome to the big leagues moment back during your rookie season?
There was a time here actually at the old Yankee Stadium where it wasn't on the field, it wasn't on anything. It was more of just sitting in the dugout, and I think it was Johnny Damon to my right and Andy Pettitte to my left, and they were both talking to Jeter. And I was a rookie. I think it was September of '07, and I was thinking there, wow. Last year I was in college. This year I'm sitting between some future Hall of Famers, and these guys are I'm playing with these guys. These guys are I can call them teammates, and I see them in a locker room. I'm on the airplane with them. I hang out with them, and it was really, that was probably my moment where I had to pinch myself thinking, I'm really here with the big leagues with these guys right now.
That's awesome. We'll go back to Twitter again, Ian, and Jonathan Stenson wants to know, what's your advice? And you mentioned being a young guy with those veterans around you, but Jonathan wants to know, what's your advice for young players now hoping to make it to the majors?
It takes a lot of work. For me, it was a lot of adjustments. You constantly have to make adjustments. When you come to the big leagues, you're here. You got the scouting reports come out, and there's little things that you got to make adjustments for. You got to study all the scouting reports yourself, but you're constantly going out there, and from start to start, you're trying to make those adjustments. And I'd say, whether it be on the mound, whether it be scouting report stuff, there's so many things that you have to adjust on the fly that if you can get really good at that, whether it be in college or high school or whatever, especially in pro ball, it gets more and more intense. And I mean, that's what I like to see. Like if I'm during spring training, that's one of the things that if I can make that in-game adjustment, it's one of those things that I have to make sure I'm on my game. And it's these guys are so good out there. The guys are so good in the box. They know you. They know your tendencies. If you can go out there and it's a constant battle, and like adjustments is a main part of the game.
Yeah, and you've certainly done it well throughout your career, Ian. Great advice for young players. It's now time for our EDJ question of the day, and the question today is, who has been your biggest mentor in the majors?
I've had a lot of really good ones. I mean, we just happened to be in New York while I came up, so I got a lot of guys in my memories there. Mike Mussina, but was one of them, and a big part of my young career was Andy Pettitte. Watching both of those guys work in between starts, watching Andy work, and he's at that near the end of his career, going out there every fifth day, and whether he had the best stuff that day, whether he didn't, he was grinding all the way through. And he's kind of one of the reasons why I kind of wanted to mold myself after a guy like that, where you can kind of work your way all the way through, in between starts, and then when you get out there on the mound, if you don't have your A stuff, you find a way to put your team in contention. And I saw him do that every single time out, and Moose did the same thing. And I feel like that's a big big sign of a good major league pitcher, a solid major league pitcher. And you see it around the guys that, you see it in the aces, but if you see it in the guys that are number 2, number 3s in a rotation, if you can predict what you're going to get out of them, you want that in your lineup, in your rotation.
Great stuff. This is the Edward Jones Chatting Cage, your chance to ask questions of your favorite players, and we have another fan getting ready to join us on the line right now. Fan, if you could just tell us your name, where you're from, go ahead with your question for Ian.
Hey, this is Andrew, and I'm in KC right now, actually. And what's up, Ian? How's it going, man?
Hey, good, man. How you doing?
Good. Thank you. I know, obviously, this is your first year in KC, but I'm just kind of curious. Do you have any favorite barbecue joints yet? Because after all, KC's known for good old BBQ.
Yeah, KC's known for the barbecue. So I think my favorite, I've only gone to a couple. You ask different people, they all say different things. I imagine you have your own. For myself, I've only had Joe's KC barbecue. That's probably my favorite so far. I've had Jack Stacks. I've had there's some other places out there that I haven't had, but I'm willing to try it, like Q39 or something like that. I can't remember what other places are out there, but you go to different people that they've suggested barbecue, and they all have their own taste. But all in all, they're all really good.
Yeah, the few times I've been in Kansas City, they always say everyone has their favorite, like you said. But they also say the places you've never heard of are sometimes the best barbecue as well.
Yeah, it's true.
All right, we're going back to Twitter now, Ian, and we're going to go with Jess Dawson, who wants to know, who's the funniest teammate you've ever had?
Ooh, funniest teammate I've ever had. Had some really good practical jokers. JJ Putz, he's I'm just gonna put him on the practical, like just a jokers list. He's just constantly trying to pull pranks on people. When I play with him, you always got to watch your back. We got a couple of guys over here in KC. Salvy's pretty funny, but there's a lot of guys that I can think of. There's a lot of things that happen off air that are not PG, but there's a lot of things that like JJ Putz, he's the number one in my mind that I can think of.
Yeah, we won't ask you for any specifics about what exactly makes these guys funny, but that's a pretty good list that you have right there. We have another fan just about ready to go here, Ian. Fan, if you can just tell us your name, where you're from, go ahead with your question for Ian.
My name's Aaron, and I'm here in western Kansas in a school bathroom right now talking to you so I don't get my phone taken away. I just want to ask how you're enjoying Kansas City so far.
I love it. Thanks for calling, even though you're probably not allowed to. You get in trouble, but Kansas City's been great. The city's been great to me and my family. I was always really excited to come here. I heard really good things about how nice the people are. My wife's from the Midwest, but it's always had the Midwest values. Kansas City's got that, everything you need in a big city, but that small town feel and how everybody treats everybody. And but being on this team is incredible. We're not playing well right now, but we all still have the great upbeat attitude. This team's way too good to be doing that. And I was excited from day one. As soon as I signed with the Royals, Dayton Moore and Ned and all the guys, and I know Dave Island from the beginning. So I'm really excited to continue. But my first 2 months and with this team and during the regular season has been a lot of fun.
Ian, I think we just made Chatting Cage history, our first student from a school bathroom dialing in to talk. That's definitely a first on the Chatting Cage. We're going to go back to Twitter, and 40 Squared wants to know, if you weren't a baseball player, what would you be doing?
If I weren't a baseball player, what would I be doing? Early on when I was in high school and early college, I actually wanted to be a fireman. I wanted to be a fireman and work my way up and have it be a chief or something, but eventually it kind of changed, and as I was going to school, I kind of wanted to work somewhat in the real estate finance area and just kind of study all that, and I like just real estate in general intrigued me. So I don't know what exactly I would be doing. I mean, with some of the people I've been around now, I'd be spending their money and buying properties and hopefully flipping them and all that stuff. So I have no clue.
All right. Well, baseball certainly worked out, so you don't have to worry about that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
We have another We have another fan ready to go here. Fan, if you can just tell us your name, where you're from, and your question for Ian.
I'm Matthew from New Jersey. I want to know, in 2014, you hit a dinger. You're a pitcher. They normally don't do that. What was that like?
I actually, you try to imagine it as a pitcher, and you try to like, when I hit one and I know it, you think you're gonna take it all in and take a slow jog. When I hit mine, I had no idea if it was gonna go out. I thought it did off the bat, but I remember we were in Petco in San Diego, and I just took off running because anything can happen there at night, and it went out, and everything was just, it went way too fast. I wish I would have slowed down around the bases, and I scored. And I was out of breath. My adrenaline was out of control, but it was an awesome feeling. I hit batting practice homers, but you hit one in a game, it's completely different.
And then you have that, right, against all the position players. The rest of your career, you can say, I hit a home run.
That was the only run in the game, too. So I tried talking a little bit, saying, come on, guys, I do it. You guys can do it.
Great stuff. Let's go back to Twitter. And KC Dave Rogers wants to know, what's your favorite sport outside of baseball?
Definitely, it's got to be golf. I love watching golf. I picked up golf when I had my aneurysm surgery in 2009, and my surgeon said, hey, if you're going to have a lot of downtime on your hands, you might want to take up the game of golf. And I did. I fell in love. I can relate it to pitching, and it's one of those things that I try to do every time we go to a visiting city. I don't have a whole lot of time at home, but because I have 4 little girls, but every time I go on a city, I try to play golf, and it's one of those things that it kills time, and I get to see different parts of the country I've never seen before.
That's a good doctor right there, Ian, recommending more golf to help you out.
Yeah.
That's excellent. We have another fan getting ready to go here on the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. Ian Kennedy joining us on the program today. And here is our fan. Fan, if you just tell us your name, where you're from, go ahead with your question for Ian.
Hey, Ian, what's going on? My name is Peyton, and I wanted to ask, what is your ultimate goal for this year?
For me, it's one of the big reasons why I wanted to play for Kansas City was our goal is to win a World Series. I know they got the rings, but I don't have one with them. I don't have a ring that says KC on it. I want one. I tell them I'm jealous. So for me, it's to do anything I possibly can to help this team achieve going back to back. And it's not easy, especially now in today's game. But we're going to try to do the best we possibly can. And that's my goal is to try to obtain that. Is trying to go out there and give our team a chance every single time. And it's not going to change. And this team plays unbelievable defense. And just let them put it in play and see what happens. But that's the ultimate goal is try to go to the World Series again.
All right, we are out of time, Ian. Thanks so much for taking some time in the chatting cage.
No, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
That'll do it for another edition of the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. Tune in again next time.